Have you ever met somebody who was highly intuitive, and then you desired that trait for yourself? The skill of being able to tap into your intuition and to have knowledge that most people don't have. If that's you and you're wondering, how do I develop and strengthen my own intuition? Then this is exactly what I want to share with you in today's video. How do we do that? Well, first of all, for those of you who have been following me for some time now, you understand that I really like to have my distinctions, right? To really define what does intuition mean. When it comes to intuition, the word intuition comes from the root word intuit, which means to watch over, which also means to perceive, right? To really develop a perception of things. So therefore, intuition means to be able to be fully aware, to become aware in your conscious mind, all the things that are currently existing in your subconscious mind, so that you can have true and genuine knowledge of things, and that will help you produce your desired outcomes. So that is the definition of intuition. So how do you develop and strengthen it? Here's the answer, is that you don't need to. You don't need to develop or strengthen your intuition because your intuition is innate. It is there constantly with its full strength, telling you things, giving you knowledge that you would otherwise not be able to perceive through your five senses, and giving you full and conscious awareness, trying to bring things to your conscious awareness. But oftentimes we don't notice it, or we don't know that we don't trust that it is our intuition, or we doubt ourselves. All of these things are standing in the way. It's not that our intuition is weak. It's not that your intuition isn't there. It's rather more about, how do I respond to it? How do I listen to it? How do I trust it? And how do I really see what the message is that my intuition is trying to share with me? And that's what I want to share with you in this video. 5 steps on how you can become more intuitive. Step number 1. Know that your intuition is not the same as your gut feeling. Right? How many of you have heard this when it comes to intuition? There's a lot of message out there in social media and also in society that says, well, trust your gut instinct, trust your gut feeling, trust your gut. What is your gut trying to tell you? Well, intuition and anything associated with your gut is not the same thing. Because when it comes to the gut feeling, the gut instincts, that's exactly what the gut is. It's about your instincts and your impulses, which are very different from intuition. I shared with you earlier what intuition means. So how is it different from instincts and impulses? Right, so first of all, let's talk about impulses. When it comes to impulses, we have impulses to move and to pursue things that we desire. And our desires are they take root in the amygdala of our brain, which is kind of commonly referred to as the desire centers. The amygdala is in the center of our brain, and this causes the hard desires that we have, the burning desires that we want to pursue them. And we pursue them impulsively. So impulses are controlled by certain neurotransmitters that our brain produces, for example, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. These are the released by the brain that create that desire and the impulse to pursue them, an amygdala response. So those are impulses. We impulsively want to do things. We impulsively want to have instant gratification. We impulsively seek desires and pleasures, and those are impulses. The other side of it are instincts. What are instincts? Instincts also come from the amygdala. However, they're a different set of neurotransmitters that produce the instincts that we have. Now, impulses are where we want to pursue things that are desirable to us and that are pleasing to us, that produce pleasure. Instincts are the opposite. This is when we want to avoid things that we perceive as harmful. We want to avoid things that we don't desire. We want to avoid things that we feel that aren't pleasing to us. And so these are instincts, to avoid it, to run from them, right? Impulses we run towards, instincts we want to run away from. And the neurotransmitters that are responsible for creating these feelings, these instincts, are the norepinephrines, the epinephrines, and cortisol as well. And all of these things create that instinctual desire to run away from because we perceive what we're running from, something that we wish to avoid. So these are instincts and impulses that are gut feelings. And it's in the gut, is literally physiologically inside of our gut, because in your gut, and the gut is the small intestines, right? You got your big intestines and your small intestines. Your gut is the small intestines. And there's a network of nerves in your small intestines that registers these impulses and these instincts from the neurotransmitters that are produced in our brain. So that is the clean distinction between instincts and impulses versus intuition. Your intuition is not a gut impulse or instinct. Your intuition is your intuition. It comes from the executive center of your brain. Gut feelings and instincts and impulses come from the amygdala part of the brain, which is constantly pleasure-seeking, instant gratification seeking, versus intuition, which comes from the executive centers, the area in your forebrain behind your forehead. And that area is a highly rationalized rationale. It thinks with reason, it makes executive decisions. And that is the executive part of your brain. And then from that place of your brain, that is where the seat of your true mission comes from. When you understand what your life purpose is, the real objectives you want to be working towards, and you have that clarity, it comes from the executive center of your brain. Right? So there are so many differences between the gut instincts and feelings versus your intuition. Differences that include the neurotransmitters, the parts of our brain as well, and also the origin of where we feel them, gut versus executive center. Right, so that's step number one, is to know that there is a clear distinction and your intuition is not the same as your gut feeling. Step number two is to recognize the voice of your intuition. You see, your intuition is not loud, it's not demanding, and your intuition communicates in different ways to you. It communicates through the feelings that we have. Right, so we have thoughts, and every minute of every single day, you are constantly thinking. And every thought that you have, behind that thought, there are so many memories associated with it. And those memories associated with it that branch out from every single thought that you have. And from those thoughts, you have feelings. It's inevitable. Think about it. Every thought that you've had will produce a feeling. So your intuition is communicating with you through those feelings that you have and the thoughts that you produce from the root of those feelings. So let's say the feeling you have are feelings of anxiety and distress because you're pursuing a goal or pursuing something that is pleasing to you, or you're trying to avoid something that is unpleasing to you. And in those moments, you have a lot of feelings that are distress, anxiety-ridden, maybe frustrating, or maybe self-depreciating, whatever those feelings are. All of those emotions are your intuition guiding you back to your life's purpose, your true life mission, the real objective, the chief aim of what you're working towards that is meaningful to you, truly meaningful to you, and not things that you believe that you should do because someone else told you to do them. Right, so when you have these emotions, those types of feelings, your intuition is trying to pull you back into what's genuinely and truly valuable to you. What you, at the end of the day, when you don't need to try to impress somebody, when you don't need to try to live up according to someone else's values, what is your intuition trying to share with you? When we're farther and farther from our life mission, our true life purpose, our chief aim, when we're farther and farther away from that, our intuition guides us back towards it. And the opposite can be true as well. If your feelings are different, your feelings are inspiration, one of enthusiasm and gratitude for all that you have and all the opportunities that you're working towards, if those are the feelings that are produced, then your intuition is trying to tell you that you are in line, that you are in the route and in your purpose working towards that chief aim. So you see, every minute of our day, all the decisions we make as a result of the thoughts that we have and the feelings that produce as a result of it, we decide. We are thinking, we are feeling, and we are deciding every minute of every day. And in those thoughts, the feelings, and the decisions, our intuition is there every step of the way, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. That intuition is there giving you warning signals through feelings and giving you messages that lead you towards your true mission. The mission that if you were to pursue it, it is aligned with your true values, that you will, at the end of the day, be on your most inspired career path and life path as well. Right, so that is step number two, is to be able to recognize the voice of your intuition. Step number three is to awaken your inner vision. As I mentioned in the previous step, your intuition, the whole purpose of it is to bring to your conscious awareness the things, the thoughts, the feelings, and the decisions that stem from our subconscious mind. So when you want to connect with your intuition, to be able to hear it, respond to it, and trust it, one of the key steps is to connect with your inner vision, which means that your inner voice becomes louder than the outer voice. What's the inner voice and the outer voice? The inner voice is your intuition. What's the outer voice? It's the voices of everybody else. The authorities of your life, the people who you admire, the institutions out there, society, social media, and news and Hollywood, all of those outer influences are the outside voices telling you and influencing what you feel you should do, who you think you should become, what positions and opportunities you should pursue, what are the things you should avoid. And all of these shoulds, ought tos, and have tos, that's what causes those impulses and instincts to pursue things and also to avoid things that we don't necessarily are aligned with our true values. So being able to recognize our inner voice also means understanding for yourself, of yourself, what are your values? And being unashamed of what they are, and not trying to wish to be like anybody else or wish to have the visions that other people have set forth that this is what should be. Instead of doing what should be, connecting with your inner vision means this is not what I should be doing, but this is what I would love to be doing. This is who I would love to become. And therefore, as a result of becoming and doing these things, these are the things in my life that I would love to have. And from that space, you are genuinely connected to what's present and being fully present in being, and therefore being able to hear more of the messages that your intuition is telling you on a daily basis. Step number 4 is to fill your heart with gratitude. How does gratitude help with intuition? Right? And the reason why is that they are so intertwined, gratitude and intuition. When we have gratitude, it means we desire what we have, and we see all of what they are, what is. We see its benefits, we see their pitfalls, we see the strengths of it, we see the weaknesses of it, we see the opportunities, but we also see the completion of it. And all of the wholeness of our situations and who we are and the path that we are on, we are grateful for. And therefore, in that place of gratitude, there are no misconceptions of what I have and therefore what I don't. In fact, in those moments, even in those moments of our full awareness, of our mindful, conscious awareness, that we can be grateful, and therefore this opens our minds to be even more able to receive what our intuition is trying to tell us. Because intuition and gratitude are not only intertwined, they are one in the same. When we are grateful, we are connected to our intuition. When we are intuitive, we are also grateful for all that we are and all that we have and all that we are working towards. Right? So fill your heart with gratitude. And it doesn't mean that you are stopped in your progress. It doesn't mean that you can no longer set goals and work towards those goals. But what this means, the essence of what this means, is that you're working towards greater goals, not because you feel you have to, or not because you feel that right now you're not good enough where you're at. See, the essence of it, the thought behind it is different. Right? So that is step number 4, is to fill your heart with gratitude. And step number 5 is the last step. And by the way, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, ring that bell as well, so that you can receive a notification every time I release a new video, twice a week, every single week. And if you enjoy this content, then give me a thumbs up, because I always want to hear from you. I always want to hear from you. If you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I also want to know from you, what are your thoughts? What is your intuition telling you in this moment? I'd love to hear from you, so comment below. All right, so step number 5, last step, and that is to take immediate action. Every time we have fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of doing something we know is important, action drives out fear. When you plan your action steps and you fill your days with high priority action steps, then once you make that plan and fill it with high priority action steps, then you will no longer be distracted by low priority activities. So take action immediately. Once you start to implement the previous 4 steps, the 5th step is, what can I do right now? that will move me towards my intuition, that will open my heart and my mind to greater awareness. And from that space of awareness, I'm not going to be judgmental, not judgmental to self, not judgmental to others, but just to be present so that I can hear and embrace all that my intuition is bringing to my consciousness. Because your intuition is there to serve you, so that you can be mindful and so that you can be on your path to your inspired destiny.